Hello, welcome to Loot Level Chat, the podcast from Loot Level Chill. I'm Mick Fraser and I'm joined by Kieran Singh.
Hello.
And Lyle Pendle.
Hi there, we're here. We're back for another week of wonderful podcast fun. That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's always the plan. Doesn't always go to plan. Oh, I think it does. We always have lovely podcast fun. I think people would agree. Especially Steve's not here. So what can go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, we've shed the dead weight.
Poor Steve.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it. Well,
I don't know. He does sometimes. It's his hair. I'm jealous of his hair, so he gets what he gets.
That's fine. I mean, it's a good enough reason, isn't it?
So, how is everybody? All right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, full of gaming cheer because there are so many games coming soon and out now that we could never realistically play enough.
It's kind of mind-boggling, isn't it? What's coming? Like, there's loads. There's so many. Like every day, it's going. And then, which we're going to talk about. Obviously, we've just had. We're still possibly in the throes of Steam Next Fest.
Yeah, and then quite a few of them end up keeping the demos up anyway a lot of the time as well. So there's always that way of it. But I think it's the biggest Next Fest ever as well, and it's been kind of nightmarish to navigate because of that.
Yeah, I find it really difficult to find stuff on the Next Fest page.
Well, I always search by category, which I know is kind of backwards with Next Fest because you want to just play as much as possible and you like to be surprised by. But I'll tend to start scrolling the first few pages of the list and then just be like, I don't know what any of this is or what to do. So I'll just end up searching by Metroidvania or Boomer Shooter or whatever, sexual content or whatever, And then it's like, it took you a second, and then. But yeah, and then I'll just download whatever looks decent, I guess. So that's how I ended up with most of the games I've tried this year. And then there's been stuff. So there's stuff I didn't know was coming until I saw the Neckfest demo for it. For example, Grime. Did anyone play Grime, the Metroidvania from a few years ago?
Nope. No, I remember you talking about it.
Really good. Where it's like you detach your head and you put it on different bodies, and you change because you are made of grime and you change your shape into different really good Metroidvania, really atmospheric. But it was one of those that felt a bit proof of concept-y rather than there were some things that weren't quite there. And I didn't know that was getting a sequel at all. I just didn't know it was coming. I'd missed it, and then I saw the Next Fest demo. So, and I mean, I'm talking about it. I haven't played it yet. I did download it, and I will play it. But yeah, stuff like that. I like to be a little bit surprised by what's on Steam Next Fest sometimes, but sometimes you can scroll down because that list seems to go on forever. There's so many pages of it, and then you'll see something and be like, "Why wasn't that at the top?"
Yeah, you'll see one of those demos where you'd have picked that first and it was 80 pages in somehow, and it's kind of a big enough name that you'd think it would be there.
Yeah. And I mean, I shouldn't have because I've got so much stuff to play, review-wise. There's some big stuff still on the list, and there's embargoes looming. But it's I can't help it because you go into that Steam page, and it's especially if it's one of those weekends where I'm away, and I've got the Steam Deck with me, then it's all bets are off because it's just
you might as well, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But have you been playing anything interesting from the list, from the demo list, shall I say?
Yeah, I have played quite a lot interesting. I mean, there are some... I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I previewed one that I got quite a bit before the Next Fest, and I didn't even realise it was going to be a Next Fest demo. But because it is, kind of worked out for the best and meant I had a bit of extra free time. And I should talk about Dench Attack because it is one of the weirdest concepts for a game.
I've downloaded that demo and I haven't tried it yet because I've not had a chance. But you told me about it. I think you and maybe Steve had mentioned it.
Yeah.
The trailer looked really fun, so I downloaded it.
It is a wild concept for a video game. It's set in an apocalyptic future where all the rich people live under domes in Japan to get away from the horrible atmosphere that has gone to shit. And you play as one of the delivery drivers outside of these domes who rides trains across different train tracks. But realistically, this is all just an excuse for you to do ridiculous train tricks. So it's essentially it's a like a Tony Hawk's game where you're doing like massive flips and stuff, but it's a whole fucking train that does it, as opposed to, you know, a guy on a skateboard or a guy on a bike.
Nice.
And it makes it so much more just ridiculous and exciting. And it's like, it's kind of clever because you're in a train, so you're on rails, right? So it is on rails. It's on rails on rails. So that means you're kind of like looking for which paths to take that are the best, because like there'll be quite a lot of times where there's different junctions and stuff, and there's also loads of collectibles in each stage, and it just like all the mechanics weave together in this demo where it becomes this very compelling like score chasing thing or objective chasing thing, where like I was playing it for a lot longer than I needed to. Like I could have got through this demo in like 30-40 minutes, and I definitely spent a couple of hours going back to every stage and being like, well, now I know how to do the very best of flips and I want to try that now, or now I know that there's like these different collectibles that like I didn't even realize I was looking for at first, and it was just a hell of a lot of fun. It's kind of like a weird blend between like a Tony Hawk's game and maybe something more like Ollie Ollie. I think of Ollie Ollie as being more like you're following a path and you've got individual stages, and that's more what Dench Attack is like, but it is in a wild setting. And like the trailers for it show so much more wild shit happening, like giant monsters and stuff like that. Whereas in the demo, the wild thing you do is you ride your train onto a Ferris wheel, which you take off its like framing and then just steer around as a massive wheel, just through an open area. And it's just one of those games where it is outrageous and you can't help but smile as you play it, while also having, you know, a real background of like arcadey score chasing fun. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and well worth keeping on the radar when it fully releases as well. Because
it looks mental. Like I said, the trailer looks real fun.
And the visuals are great too. Like it's very much got that Jet Set Radio.
That's what I thought.
It's nice.
Fun vibe. Really, really cool. Had a great time with that. I think that's going to be a really fun one. I think that's next month it's coming out now or something like that. So
that's close then. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Kieran? Anything?
I played well, I guess this is similar to Lyle. This is one that I previewed before it was on Next Fest, but Waxheads, the Cozy Punk game.
Cozy Punk.
the Cozy Punk one, which it's a really cool game. Like it's like a narrative adventure where you get a job in a record store, and you know the bulk of your time is spent dealing with customers. They come in, they might tell you that they want a specific genre, or they want a record that they listened to when they were younger and they can't quite remember it. They just remember there's a bird on the cover, for example. And then you go off into the shop, you do some digging, you try and find the right record for them. You ring it up through the till, you put a couple of like emojis on the receipt and like a little note, and then it's, you know, you see how you've done basically. And the point of the game is to just try and spread as much joy through music as possible with the patrons of this it's called Repeater Records, the store. And in the background there's like this really cool story about it's sort of like you know, punks versus like the man, like the corporate man coming in and trying to take over. And there's all this like backstory around like a band that were together 20 years ago and they fell apart, and one of them sold out, and now they're starting to try and take over the shop and things. But it's all set with like the soundtrack's really good. There's like a really good mix of like pop and grunge and punk and a bit of everything. And then the visual style is just really, really bright and vibrant, and all the characters look like sort of stickers that you'd get like that come with albums, or you know, when you're a teenager, you get like an iPad or something and you just put stickers all over the back of it, or you get a laptop and you just put stickers all over it. I know Steve does that. I don't know if you guys do, but,
I did.
It looks like that.
I've got stickers everywhere.
There you go.
I suppose,
yeah, it looks like that, and I just think it's one of those games that just feels really cool. And it's like playing it, I was thinking, because I was never cool enough to be the person that hangs around in a records shop when I was a teenager, but this is what I imagine it was like. Yeah,
I bet fucking Steve did, didn't he?
I bet what a prick.
I bet they all knew his name when he walked into our pro.
Yeah. Well, they knew my name at the trading cards store, so you know.
Wow. I don't know you're a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I played that. I thought that was really good. Really good game.
Nice.
Well worth checking out. It's out in May, I think, so it's not far off now.
Yeah. I played. So because I played, obviously, I didn't. Again, like with Lyle, I played Replaced a while back, and then that was like a big Neckfest thing. Which again, I won't bang on about it, but it's good. I really liked it. But that got delayed.
I tried that as well.
Yeah, what did you think?
It was really good. I thought it was like the visuals are really nice.
Yeah,
the combat's quite like it's chunky. It's almost veers into feeling ever so slightly clunky, but it never quite gets there.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it because it feels really heavy and weighty.
Yeah, really, really heavy. Yeah,
and like I'm a little bit worried that it could be one of those games that like if the combat doesn't evolve at all, you could get like 4 or 5 hours in and be like, it looks good, but I'm kind of like the rhythm is getting a little bit tedious, and I'm hoping there's a bit of a change to that because Adam played it as well and he quite liked it. Probably not as much as me, but he quite liked it. So I played that a couple of weeks ago, and then obviously I finally uninstalled the demo because now I'll wait because the game is out in a couple. Because it was supposed to be out like this week coming. Well, this week,
really.
At the time you're listening to this or watching this podcast, it was meant to be out around now, but it's been delayed to the 14th of April, which is a shame, but also like it's only a little delay, and there's usually a reason, and the demo did need a little bit of polishing, so like I can kind of see, sort of why. But that was kind of the most, I want to say the most interesting. there was a few interesting. I played a game called Armatus, which is kind of like it's almost like a third-person Doom, but
okay.
It's also a roguelike. So like it's got it's very like over the top heavy metal-y. Like there's a bunch of like nuns at the beginning because you're in like this. They're not over sexualized either. They're all in button-up dresses and everything and wimples. So you're in sort of like or habits nuns wear, but you're in like a weird like a dark fantasy version of Paris where it's been like overrun by demons. And I can't remember your character's name, but it's something ridiculous. And you're just like a big dude in armor. And then they're just like, go kill demons. And then if you die, we'll just bring you back and you can carry on killing demons. So it's got like a roguelike-y thing. But that's really good. I really think like it's quite indie. And I don't know if it's going to have legs when it actually launches. But it was fun and it looks really nice. It was quite polished as well. There was a little bit of slowdown, but that might have been my PC chugging away because I was installing stuff at the time I was playing it. But that's quite good. It's got the standard like sort of roguelike-y setup. You can sort of go into an area, enemies spawn, you kill all the enemies, and then you get like a choice of power up. But it does it in third person with some pretty good shooting and like that over the top thrash metal-y music. So that was quite good. That's Armatus. That's sort of like it's something a tickler like to scratch a Doom itch. I think like if it's been a little while since sort of Doom the Dark Ages now, and if you want something a bit like metally, that's quite fun.
I always really like a shooty roguelike because we get so many like isometric action roguelikes and that sort of like. So I always appreciate when it goes a bit more the gun way. Something like a Mullet Mad Jack. That was those, I remember Tower of Guns ages ago was one that I got like stupidly stuck into. Like that was one of those. That's my obsession for the year games. I had to write about fucking too many games to have an obsession for more than a couple of days.
Yeah, you can't stick on anything anymore.
Yeah, I always appreciate that. I think it's a nice setup, and we just don't quite get enough of them that it becomes flooded like every other angle of roguelike does.
Yeah.
But as a segue, I can talk about another roguelike that had a
go for it.
And then that works really well. Another type of roguelike we don't get many of is coin pusher roguelikes. But
That's
I played
true.
Racoin, the coin pusher roguelike, which I never called them coin pushers. I grew up in the seaside, and they were always 2-penny slots for me.
Yeah, that's 2-penny machine.
They have the little arms that push things down, and you try and win more coins. And realistically, you're never trying that hard to win. You just sort of get a pound's worth and see how many like hours you can kill through sheer luck and determination.
Yeah, they're weirdly addictive.
Yeah, and this is the roguelike equivalent of that. It's very much on the sort of I'd say like Balatro end of things, where although there is this luck element involved, you're trying to manipulate the systems to make it so that the luck is less and less important because you've kind of got a setup that works. And it just had this really cool loop of having all these different upgrades you could get, where you get like special different types of coins, where the first ones you get are these pig coins where you can put them in instead of your normal coins, and if they touch each other they like breed and more coins appear, and so then you can sort of work around that. But there's loads of different ways where even in this sort of like demo limited sort of, you know, options and stuff you could find, you could start to see the little ways that these interactions can work out, where if you have this passive buff that means that anytime you spawn coins you might spawn double and stuff like that, then you can find ways to kind of break the game in fun ways. And it was totally a very different way of doing that. I think the only thing I kind of struggled with is visually I'm not that sure, like it sort of felt not realistic enough that it almost felt like the physics weren't as realistic because of that. And I'm not sure if that was just like my mind playing tricks on me or not, but like there was something about it.
I kind of feel like a game like that should have like it should be crazy out of this world weirdness, but the physics should be on point, like, because it should, because you want it to capture the feeling of when you were like a kid, or you were at the, or like last Tuesday or whatever, when you like the last time you were at the seaside, like in Hunstanton or Skeggy or Blackpool, and you were playing on those machines, and it's like 100%. You kind of want it to nail that feeling, and also do the weird stuff.
I don't know if it's the visuals or like it doesn't feel like they're coins. They feel like they're almost like poker chip size when they're in the machine. So I don't know, something about it, that tactile element, I wasn't 100% sold on, but I was very much sold on the systems around it. And I think it's a really cool and weird idea to, because like there's only so many ways we can go with, like there's the poker one, there's the slot machine one, so them going to like the more obscure seaside fun time element of gambling, I thought that was really cool. And maybe next they need to do like a horse racing one.
Where do they go next? Like the change machine.
I've seen a game where they've had an equivalent of, and I want to say it was like a Final Fantasy game or something, and it might have been Rebirth, when you're at where they've got like the equivalent of those fake horse race things, where it's just like horses on the little plastic. And you bet, and then they like judder along the track. I'm sure I've seen something like that in a game, and I can't think what game it is. I'm sure it's in Final Fantasy Rebirth, when you go. It might be when you go to the like the extravagant
author and stuff.
To me.
Yeah, I think it might have been. There was so much in that game. It's kind of hard to keep
Final
track
Fantasy
of what
and its fucking silly mini games.
Yeah, for sure. But that's we go there. Dude, they could do roulette. Roulette might work if you find a way to make roulette silly enough.
I'm surprised they haven't, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably being made somewhere. Someone's probably already doing it.
They did a Russian roulette game, didn't they?
Yeah,
did they not do like
buckshot roulette?
Yeah.
Weird gambling roguelikes. There's loads of them.
Well, maybe we'll rank them in a bonus one day.
Yeah. There's enough of them. We need wait a couple of years, and we'll till there's enough to fill the tiers. And we got that. That's a great episode. Bank that one.
Yeah. What else? What else have you been playing, Kieran? Anything?
I've got a couple. I've got one that I'll just speak about very, very quickly, because I only played about 35 seconds of it before I uninstalled it. Not because it was bad or anything, just because it didn't have controller support. So I was playing with the little touchpad on my Legion Go, which was not ideal. But I played a very small amount of Zero Parades. I can't remember what the full name of it is. Zero Parades something, which is the Disco Elysium spiritual successor by Zawam.
Okay.
It is very, 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 very much more Disco Elysium, based on like visually and audio wise. It looks and sounds identical in my mind. Like it looks like they're trying to recapture that. I'd be very surprised if they managed to. I'd be quite interested to see what people make of it. I've not really read any opinions on the demo, but I'm curious to see what people think, and what people think of the full game as well. It'd
be good if they captured that magic again, because I feel like that went down pretty well.
I think it's lightning in a bottle, though. That is because it's one of those things that I find that Disco Elysium is one of those games that's so, like, the dialogue, the writing in general is so intelligent, like it's so clever,
Really good.
That I think that people try to do that, and then that's where they fall down. Like I just reviewed that Esoteric Ebb, which is very much a disco-like. It calls itself a disco-like. And that's like in this like very Terry Pratchett-esque kind of fantasy world with like goblins and magic and all that sort of stuff. And that's like that. Like you wake up at the beginning and you're a cleric, which is kind of like this world's version of an investigator. And you've got to solve who bombed a tea shop. Somebody bombed a tea shop, and it's like poised on the eve of this fantasy city is having its first election ever, where they're going to elect an official to run the city. And there's like you got like protesting dwarfs, and like there's these goblins that are like little schemers, and there's like, and it's got all this stuff that's thrown into it, and it is very clever, and it is quite funny in places. But it very much feels like a game going for the Disco Elysium feel, and it's like, and it almost nails it. Like it's good. I enjoyed. Took me a while to get into it. Took me a while before I was like, yeah, I'm into this, because I don't like reading games. So I like games like Disco Elysium. I didn't play until the version came out that was voiced.
Yeah,
because I don't want to sit and stare. I'm too distracted by things, and I don't lock in when I have to sit and read the text in a game. Which is ironic, because when there's dialogue, I'll skip read the subtitles and then skip the dialogue. But I don't like to have no option and just sit and watch. So like at first I was like, this is a bit of a slog. But then I got into it, and then like the story starts to pick up a bit, and it is quite good. But yeah, I don't think you can. I think it's difficult when you set out to emulate something that is kind of lightning in a bottle. Like not like a lot of people are probably looking at Disco Elysium and going, well, we can do the basic. You know, we can make our stats talk to us in funny ways and shit like that. But that's not kind of the essence of it. Like Disco Elysium has had that.
It's the politics. It's all the stuff that goes into it.
And it's kind of everything. Like it's a really interesting world. It's a really interesting. Like the protagonist, you shouldn't like him. You shouldn't root for him. But then you end up. Well, it depends how you play him, I guess. But it's very easy to end up loving. And like his partner is just pitch perfect.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And it's like that sort of stuff is really difficult to do a second time, or if you're trying to like copy someone's homework. It's something that happens when the writers probably don't know they've got it. Do you know what I mean? When they're pushing something like that into the world and they're going, fucking please like this, because we just don't know. That's when that sort of thing really works, which is why indies are great. But
yeah, I think there's all the stuff around the studio as well, because I don't actually think the original writers are in part of the studio anymore, because there was all that big
I vaguely remember.
So I think they're actually off making their own spiritual sequel to Disco Elysium, and this is by the official studio that did the first game, but not necessarily the people that were there. So I think there's probably going to be some misfires along the way, but I am curious to see it, and I will 100% play it.
What's it called? I'm going to look it up. You said it was
Zero Parades, Spies, something like that.
Yeah. It's one where I remember the Zero Parades bit and see
Zero
it around.
Parades.
No one mentions the next bit.
Yeah.
Zero Parades for Dead Spies.
That was it.
Which is a bit of a mouthful, but the art style looks really nice from the picture I briefly saw. Yeah,
so they, like I said, they've gone really heavy on that sort of disco aesthetic, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. So yeah, I played a very that was 35 to 40 seconds I played of that game before I realized I'm not going to sit through this while I've not got a mouse.
Yeah.
So I played how do I pronounce it? I think it's called Inconbini.
Oh, right.
Inconbini One Storm Many Stories, and it is a work simulator. But
is it the one they showed it on the Direct, didn't they?
Yes,
so the Direct from
coming to Switch now as well, which I didn't realize, but yeah, I'd like to play it there as well, to be fair. So yeah, set in the 90s, and you are running your family's mini mart essentially, and you have to go out the back, check the stock, order more things in, stack the shelves, and then serve the customers. And I only played about 15-20 minutes of it just to get a feel. Well, I don't know if anyone else is the same, but when it comes to demos, I skip through all the story, because the story is like one of the most important parts to me, but I don't want to see the demo. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get like a full flavor of like what the narrative the setup is, but it's really nice, and it's got a really nice cozy vibe to it. Like it's really tactile. Like when you're stacking the shelves, you go out the back and you fill up a basket with what you need, and then you take it back out, and you put all the stuff on the shelves in the right places. when people come in, you can have like little conversations with them, and you can make decisions. So there's like an old man that comes in, and he's looking for a specific type of food for his diabetic cat or something, and he's trusting you basically to recommend the right one. So you'll sit there and you go through the shelves and you read the product descriptions and try and make sure you match him up with the right thing. And then it does sort of like the telltale, he will remember this type.
He will remember this. His cat died.
If his cat dies, then you're for bollocking, basically. It's just really nice and cozy and relaxing. It's the sort of thing that I would want to play on a handheld while curled up on the sofa under a blanket on like a rainy Sunday.
I struggle with work sims unless there's some element of like I'll play a power wash or a house flipper or that sort of thing, but like a work sim, I always want there to be like an element of something really creepy and dark going on in that. Those things that, like, my lad plays a lot of games on Roblox, which is what it is, but I'll sit there sometimes and I'll be doing something over there and he's on here and he's got like a Roblox on, and there's somewhere he's playing things like, I don't know, it's like a restaurant and you're just like, you're serving customers like food. I don't even know what the game's called, but you're serving customers food. Basically, they're coming up and buying like shawarma or wonton or whatever. But then like sometimes they're monsters and like,
yeah.
And I've never really got the game, but every now and again I'll just hear him shriek all of a sudden where something's like scared the crap out of him. And then the rest of the time he's just talking to his friends about serving these people food. And like that sort of thing, I find like I don't play that sort of game. Like I wouldn't go, yeah, I'll play this and this. Like they look awful most of the time. and I know it's not my sort of thing. But that element of it always intrigues me. Like that whole really, like if something's really mundane and boring, like the one I think Chris reviewed, I think it was Chris White reviewed a game not long ago where it was like a Papers, Please game, but then like,
oh yeah, I can't think what it was, but yeah, there's,
I think either people or aliens. There was another one where it was like work out which people.
Oh, the quarantine zone one.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like something that's really like normal and mundane, but then in the background of it, it just there's a bit of creeping dread, and then all of a sudden it's just like it all just goes. It blows its load eventually, and I like stuff like that, but I wouldn't play it. I'm just intrigued by the concept.
It is the horror hotness of the moment. The indie horror hotness is mundane work simulator with something fucking horrific going on.
Yeah.
And, before that it was anomalies, and there's a nice little loop that goes around. But that's the current thing. But yeah, I mean the being the cozy equivalent is nice too. And I thought it looked lovely in the when I saw the trailer in the indie world. The just like turning the sandwiches the right way, on the shelves and stuff like that. There's a nice element to that of just it being this satisfying task.
Yeah, it reminds me of it's the sort of, I guess what maybe works in isn't the best way of describing it, because it's more of like a narrative game like Lake, if anyone played that.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Lake.
Yeah, I suppose that's the closest thing to it, but it is it's just really, really nice, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it.
I suppose it's not that dissimilar to like a Wander Stop for that, right? Like narrative. And
I haven't played that, but yeah, that's from from what Mick said about that on the Game of the Year pods. I think it sounds like that.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that sort of that setup anyway.
I grabbed a Metroidvania as well called Fallen Tear. I think it's Fallen Tear. It wouldn't be Fallen Tear, but it could be, I guess. But I think it's Fallen Tear: The Ascension. And that was a game that I saw. So that came up in the list, like quite far down the list. And the art, the little piece of art, little thumbnail caught my eye because it's like it's almost like Metroidvania 101 art. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like an anime kid with hair, and there's some. And I was like, this, like the colors look really good, the art style. So I looked at it, and I was watching a trailer, and I thought, why haven't I heard that this is coming? It looks really nice. So I downloaded the demo of that, and it plays. It's just, and again, Adam also played it, and it just plays really well. Like it's a really nice, like little Metroidvania, and it's like it starts off, you're like a monster. You're like a big werewolf thing, and you fight your way through this like cavern, and then you fight a boss, and then this like the halfway through the boss fight. Against this, she's like a dyad or something, like this floating fairy lady, and like you get about halfway through the boss fight, and then she sort of stops and like knocks you out, and then you wake up in this village and you're this kid. And then like various things happen, like you go through like a little thing with you, and you like, I think it's your older brother, and like he's like an accomplished hunter, and he takes you through like this little tutorial section, and then like you do a boss fight there, and then like you pass out, and then you sort of, there's this like attack happens, and like you pass out during the attack, and then like you make your way back to the village and everything's destroyed and nobody wants to talk to you and everyone's scared of you, and it's like obviously like it's fairly obvious what happened. You obviously like went beast mode and wrecked the village, but your brother and your mum have fled. Like they know all about you, like that obviously they've left the village, and like your mum's left instructions to seek out this thing that lets you like teleport. It like acts as your fast travel device, and then you like set off to find her. But like the Metroidvania powers are like these shape-shifting powers. So like instead of just like, oh, you've got a double jump, you'll like change into this beast, and then like, which I found it really good. Like, and I like the art style's really nice. It plays really well as well. It's not by any studio that I've particularly heard of. I think it's probably published by fucking Raw Fury, like everything is, but I can't remember off the top of my head who publishes it. But that was good. Yeah, Fallen Tier: The Ascension. That's another one that's out fairly soon. And if you like, because I like it, like because I know. Did you guys play Lucid, the Lucid demo?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because Adam's been banging the drum for that a lot, and that's a lot like.
Yeah, he has.
That's a bit of a Celeste, like I guess a Celeste.
Yeah.
punk,
Oh yeah.
Where that's more of a straight, like the Eternal Life of Goldman. Like you'll love that, Lyle. I don't know if you've played the demo to that.
I've not. No,
I didn't know
I'll love it.
I think you'll love it, and it's the sort of game that I know you, Adam, and Steve in particular, because it's quite hardcore. Like it's difficult. Like I was playing the demo and I was like just dying constantly, and I was like, yeah, this needs a bit more patience and coordination than I can muster. Like this is not for me. This is
needs a lifetime of practice.
Yeah, it's a lot more of a. It's very much like I wouldn't say it's a puzzle platformer, but it's definitely like a more of a hardcore platformer. Like there's no combat yet that I've seen in the demo. You sort of bounce on enemies' heads. Do you know what I mean? And then like he's got like a cane which he can use to like hook on things and swing from things and that sort of stuff. So like a lot of the stages, and the demo's quite big as well, but a lot of the stages are like, oh, something will be on fire, so you've got to jump onto this balloon and that'll carry you up and you swing to the next one. And then there's like these like, I don't know, like Easter Island head statue things that like you land on them and they get like a mad face. When you jump, they lift. And so like you kind of have to jump that one up, and then like you got to jump on the other one, and when you duck it shrinks, so like you got to raise that one up and drop to that one and shrink it, and then raise that one up, and you got these little puzzle areas, and you've only got like one heal. There's like one healing thing that you get, and when it's gone you've got to wait till you find a chest with another one in it. But I found it like it's a bit old school, and like I died and it sent me like all the way back to this checkpoint, and I was like, I can't do this. Like this is not like I like a Metroidvania where I can like unlock a new power, progress, good combat. Do you know what I mean? Like that's my thing. And this is much more of a straightforward like 2D, and that's what it's meant to be. Like I'm not criticizing it. It's really fucking good looking. Like it's a really good looking game.
Looks amazing.
And there's some really there's some much darker stuff than I expected in the story, because like because Goldman is an old man, like he's an old guy with like white hair and a walking stick, and like he looks like the guy from Up, and like but you see like in like the between mission or the between stage like loading screens, there's like pictures of him as like a younger man. He's like Indiana Jones, and he's still got the cane and stuff, but he's like much like taller and stronger. Like so, you get the feeling he's been doing this forever, and that's like seasoned adventurer, and everything's just easy for him. But the whole opening mission is all about like they keep talking about this festival of like worshipping some deity, and there was something happened and a fire broke out and killed like all the children in this village, and like it's really quite dark, and I was like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know whether, and like it juxtaposed with like this really like bright and colourful,
Yeah.
like art style. That was quite interesting. But yeah, so yeah, I did knock through a couple of 2D, because that's usually what I gravitate to on a Next Fest. Like, I'll play the odd shooter and something will catch my eye and whatever, but I'll gravitate towards like the Metroidvania tag or the 2D platformer tag. And
yeah, I mean, it's definitely because there are the sections on Next Fest where it's like RPG, and I'm like, I can't play a fucking 2 hours of an RPG and then stop and then be upset about it. Like, you're just gonna tease me with that. I can't do it. So yeah, I definitely gravitate sort of similarly. And to be honest, I maybe I have a recommendation back at Mick, since he's just recommended the Eternal Life of Goldman, because I played Cathedral Crow's Curse. This is one that Adam, I think, Adam's just sort of all fucking week, just every hour or so, he'll post like 3 more of like, has anyone played this demo yet? I mean, we all have to play other games at some point, but sure, okay, I guess I'll download another. But this was one of them. And this was Metroidvania for sure. And this was like, it almost had that sort of like more, it was way more sort of combat focused, and it almost felt a bit sort of like it had Souls-ish leanings, but without the like, you're going to be punished horribly side of it that I would have rather not have to deal with. Like, when you died, you lost 10% of your currency, and you didn't have to get it back, you just lost 10% of it, and 10% is not that much, so you're probably not going to be that sad about it, you know? Like, I mean, I wasn't in a small demo, so maybe it's fine in the full game, but this was like, it was very much like, you know, your sort of like classic fantasy setting. It's like a sequel as well. There was a game that was just Cathedral before this that I think
I've heard of that. I don't think I've played it, but
I think it's a bit more sort of like a mixed sort of reception, maybe. But this is very much like, seems like more of an evolution of it. It looks like a very pretty SNES game, as opposed to what was a bit more basic the first time around. And just some of the things that I thought were really cool about it is like the combat had things about it that really interested me and were maybe not what I was expecting. So like, you get into a fight and there's kind of a lot on blocking and parrying, and you know, like actually working out how to beat your opponent, as opposed to just like running up and slashing it, because that's what you do with your sword. So like, you'll parry attacks, and if you parry enough attacks at the right times, then they'll become vulnerable and you can like overwhelm them and one-shot them. But if you get hit enough times without parrying, you won't be able to move anymore unless you parry an attack to like stabilize yourself, basically. So there was this sort of like back and forth in the combat that was really cool. And then alongside that, there was just like out of nowhere, and just, which I was 100% not expecting from this like 2D, you know, Metroidvania platformy perspective. It just said, oh, you can hold this button and then you're in stealth mode, and if you just walk behind an enemy, you can backstab and kill them. And I was like, I wasn't expecting to do that. Like, this is like, it felt like I was playing, you know, a bit more advanced Castlevania, and suddenly stealth it if I want to. And then there were enemies with projectiles that came along, and if you parry the projectiles, you like knock it into the air, and then if you attack as it falls back down, you fire the projectile at the enemy to instantly kill them. They're just all these like really cool flashy moments that made you feel so badass when you were like, when you were just getting it right. And then alongside that, it was a really cool world to explore. It gave you quite a few new powers, which I'm never sure if a demo for a Metroidvania will give you enough to like feel like you're evolving, because you don't know if you're just going to get a chunk of like before you get the double jump. So it had a really nice element of that, and like a lot of the things you'd get were like, instead of a new power, it was like a gem that you could use to open certain levers, but then when you pulled the levers, you'd also activate traps in this like ancient cathedral or whatever. And it was just a really good time. It played just a lot better than I expected it to, because I wasn't sure. It was not a known quantity to me before I started it. And it became one where I was like, oh, I will have to play this. Actually, this is one of those Metroidvanias that could be one of the like must plays of the year out of the 80 or 90 that we get, you know.
You've got this, there's a couple coming this year that are going to be, because there's like obviously Castlevania I think is this year,
for sure,
and Bloodstained 2, which I adore Bloodstained, and like, so there's going to be there's a lot. Metroidvanias are always like really prevalent, like there's always so many Metroidvanias every year nowadays, and I don't even think it's because they're particularly easy to make. I think they're a sort of genre that's easy for people to put some sort of a spin on, or there's so much to cherry pick from now that you can fold it into whatever you really want it to be. But I love it. It's one of my favorite genres, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring it on.
Right.
Steam Next Fest has been pretty interesting. There's so we've talked about quite a few games, but we've talked about like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much on there this year, or this time round actually, because it's a couple of times a year they do Next Fest, isn't it? But yeah, it's some good stuff. But I wanted to talk about also we've got a couple of things to talk about, but one of the things I want to talk about was a big one for me, and I know Kieran's played it as well, which was Marathon. Because I played and Kieran played the Server Slam. So it is out, and we did get sent code for it from Bungie. So I have it installed and I will be reviewing it. There might even be a review by now. I'm not sure how much I'm going to have to play of it to get there. But I played the Server Slam. And I played I think I played about 6 or 7 hours of the Server Slam. I did quite a lot in the Server Slam, and I don't know, I got real mixed feelings about this one. I know you didn't like it very much.
I didn't give it as much of a chance as you, and I will play the full release just to try and get into it a bit more. I just found I bounced off really quickly for 2 reasons, and the first one was the onboarding was not particularly good. I didn't think. Yeah,
Belb, that's Bungie, but
yeah, I found it quite difficult just to understand what the fuck was going on. And the second thing is the second reason was the visuals. Like, sometimes you get a game where it just sort of like the way it looks just like triggers something like in your gut. Like, I do not like this one bit.
Yeah.
It's the color. It's like the mix of the colors and the vibrancy of the colors, and then all up against all the gray and the dark colors. It's just, I think I said it in the chat, but it looked like teletext to me.
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
It does. There's literally a screen. There's literally a loading screen that comes up that is just a teletext screen. It's like that horrible bright like blue, and it almost strikes me as like 90s blue. Do you know what I mean? When like they were like. There was one shade of blue and one shade of red,
and it was horrible.
And it was horrible. And like, so I do get it, and I also do get that so my issues with Marathon, so Bungie are bad at onboarding. You go all the way back to the first Halo, the first Destiny, not the first Halo. Halo was easy onboarding; it was a shooter, but Destiny,
you shot things.
Yeah. But as like a burgeoning MMO, the first Destiny. I mean, I played like that in the alpha and then the beta. So by the time the game came out, I was like familiar with it. But the first Destiny had a lot of tutorial stuff. You had to play the story campaign before you could like get into the extra stuff. And the campaign was like 8 or 9 hours, pretty good campaign. They did the same with Destiny 2 when it first launched. You had like the Red War campaign, which that really got you into it. You had to play the campaign to get to the free roaming stuff and the end game stuff. So you had all that onboarding, and then somewhere in the last however many years, Bungie have just completely forgotten that you need to bring people in steadily to games like that. Like you need to give them something so that they understand what they're doing. Like there's no context, and I feel like Marathon does that. Like Marathon kind of. Like you get that little bit at the beginning of the game where it's sort of, oh, this happened and now we're in the future, and this planet we send your mind into these frames, these runners that are on another. So you're not there. It's not you. Your consciousness is projected across space into these like bodies, and then you're supposed to fight for resources. But I always think to myself, like, one, why? And that, like, because so take something like Arc Raiders, right? And I know that's a lazy comparison because that's the big extraction shooter at the moment. But even something like, say, Escape from Tarkov, which has been around for a while now, or Hunt Showdown. So those games, they have like you have a purpose that is felt. There's a contextual purpose to what you're doing. Like in Hunt Showdown, I don't know if either of you have played much Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, I reviewed it once.
Did you? I don't play it because I find it really difficult, and I can't play it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, for me.
I don't have the time to get good at it, and the tension because the horror element and stuff is really real. But it's got this hook where you're there for a reason, like you're there to bounty hunt these creatures, and you're up against other players, other teams, and like that's what you're fighting over. And you've got this really cool mechanic in Hunt where you've got to fight the boss, like that you have to take out the boss. That's your aim, and then you've got the other players to deal with. And then like something like Ark, you've got context of the world, like you're in this like post-apocalypse place, you're in this underground city, you've got to go up and scavenge materials. Once you get up, you like the concept of bumping into other players and not knowing whether they're friendly or hostile, because you're both there for the same reason, you're both looking, and like your survival depends on it. That gives that game like a real atmosphere. Like Ark Raiders that's why I liked it. And again, I did drop off it because I'm not a big extraction shooter fan, but the game has context to what you're doing. And I find that the problem I've got with Marathon is I'm kind of just doing it because the game says I've got to do it. So like, what am I like? Why am I projecting into these bodies and scavenging? What am I doing with the resources I'm scavenging? I'm making the frame stronger so I can scavenge more. Who am I saving? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the purpose of it? And so I because I know that this is going to do, because they've been very honest and open about it, this is going to do like seasonal resets, like complete resets every season. It's going to wipe your progress. You're going to start afresh. Obviously, they're going to add new runners. They're going to add probably new maps. There's modes coming. Bungie they're going to support this as best they can. I say that, but like, it looks like they've got plans for this. Like the roadmap's just been released because the server slam did better than they expected it to do. Not maybe than they expected it to, but it certainly did better than a lot of people expected it to. Like it was more popular. Brought them in a lot of pre-sales. But like, I struggle with the reason I struggle with extraction shooters anyway is because I want to feel that constant progress. I don't want to lose everything. But in Marathon, you literally lose everything when you die. There's no like insurance policies. Do you know what I mean? You can't like put a weapon away and like, if I die, I'm going to keep that and level that. You just lose everything every time. And
so no safe pocket or anything like.
Not from what I've seen, no. And like the problem with that is, you die so fucking easy in Marathon. Like
I noticed that
the time to kill is really low, and this is the thing, because it plays very much like Destiny. Feels to me very much like Destiny, but the time to kill in Destiny is quite high, even in the multiplayer. It's got like quite a long time to kill. You start getting hit. You've got time when your shield goes down to get to cover, or maybe pop a super and do some damage before you die. That sort of thing. In Marathon, I don't feel like that. I feel like if you get. And you die so easy. And there were moments like you're just in a building, and like I walk into a room in a building and someone snipes me, and it's like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? Like I'm just dead. And like I know that it will foster that sense of tension in players, and they want you to always have your wits about you. They want you to walk into a building and push that button to close the shutters, and then do your raiding and stuff like that. But it's so easy in that split second to forget that somebody across the map is just sitting there waiting for you to walk into this room, and what you're just dead. There's no like, oh, I took my shields out, now I can duck and there's a firefight. No, it's just one shot at you from across the map, and you'd no idea they were there because you've probably just spent the last 5 or 10 minutes fighting for your life against the NPCs, which are some of the toughest NPCs. Like they're tougher than the Ark NPCs.
Yeah, I found them. Any sort of like number of them when there's like 4 or 5 of them ganging up on you, and I mean I was playing with randoms, which probably didn't help.
Yeah,
I did find they do a shitload of damage.
Oh, they annihilate you, and it's so fast. Like they'll take you out so fast. When you've got a bead on them and you can get some hits and you've got them down, they do die. You can take them out, but they come in such numbers and they swarm and they're constantly being reinforced. And playing with randoms is hard in that game, because I found the most successful runs I had were when me and the randoms talked to each other and we stayed together, and one of you was scavenging and you were doing things like, oh, there's health here, or there's a shield in this, or there's some ammo here, and you were doing that conversation. When you're on your own, or even when you're with sort of randoms but they're not communicating, they're running off and doing their own thing, everyone just dies like every time. And I don't know, I just feel like maybe it's not my sort of game. I love Bungie, I love the way they do shooters, I love Destiny. I'm not a big extraction shooter fan, and the idea of just like, I get really frustrated by it. I get really frustrated by, like, because I can almost guarantee that if I go into a mission with fuck all, I'm going to come out with stuff and be like, oh, I extracted. The minute I set foot in a mission with like a decent gun and decent armor and stuff, I've worked like my ass off for 2 or 3 missions to build up, and then I've unlocked the next level in a shop, and I've got some money, I'll buy that gun and I'll buy that backpack, and I'll go in with a health thing and a shield, and I just get fucking annihilated. And I always think to myself, does the game know that I've done this and it's just stacked the odds against me somehow, or what? Because it always feels, and I feel like really frustrated by it. But I mean, that's just me.
I never dug into it that much, but in terms of the stuff that you're bringing back, because I found the visuals and the color scheme and stuff just really grating. I wasn't really actually reading anything that I was picking up. I was just grabbing it, putting it in my bag, and then trying to extract. Although I don't think I managed to extract more than once. So the stuff that you bring back, is you using that to like level up things in the same way that Ark is? No,
you can break. So from what I can see, some of it you can break down to use for something. I couldn't work out. I don't know if you can specifically upgrade your weapons. So it seems to me like you scavenge 2 types of item, 3 types of item, I guess, because one, you get guns and backpacks and like shields and things like that you then equip, and you can immediately equip them when you pick them up, or you can extract with them and you can use them, but you keep them, they're persistent, you don't lose them. If you use them in one mission, you extract, if you still got it, you can swap it out. And then you've also got like consumables, and there's so many consumables that do like, oh, this one boosts your stamina, this one boosts your shield, this one increases the healing you get when you, like, there's so many, and like they all look the same. Like, you're picking them up and they all look the same, and you can't tell which ones you can use and which ones you're selling. And then you've got vendor trash, which it automatically just sells. So it might as well be money. You might as well just pick up money, because the minute you get back to the minute you get back to base, it just auto sells it. So you don't know what it is or what it's worth or why it's worth picking up. And I imagine that down the line, you'll understand, oh, they're worth a lot, I'll keep them and I'll dump this other thing. And then but obviously then you've got like I said, you can get backpacks so you can carry more stuff, and you've got these little things that you equip. But I found that what was really, really annoying about it was that, so like in Ark again, you get a gun and you level up that gun, and if you can keep that gun and you can survive with that gun, you'll make the gun better, and then like that's your progression. So in Marathon, it doesn't do that. You have like the 6 factions. You do jobs for the factions. When you unlock like the next level of the faction, you can go into your skill tree and you can permanently unlock upgrades. And some of those upgrades will be now you can buy next level guns. Now you can buy next level equipment. Now you've unlocked shield, so you can buy a shield. So the more you survive, and even when you die, I will give it its dues. Even when you die, it gives you like XP towards like things that you've done. So you've got these challenges and tasks. Some of them you can complete, and even if you die, you'll get the completion reward for it. So some of them you don't. Some of them you have to do all in one run, but some of them you'll do, and then you'll get back, and it'll be like you failed, but you completed this mission, so you get this gun, this whatever. So like you've got everything's persistent. So you're constantly like oh, I want to unlock this because this means that I can now, like, I can use a bigger backpack, or now I can use a different kind of shield, and like it's got these little boosters that you've got some choice, and it wants you to have builds, because Bungie talk about builds a lot in the PR, basically in the spiel. They go on about builds and how are we going to let you do, and I can't yet see from the limited time I've played, I can't yet see how builds will work, because I get that you can have like a shield that boosts, I don't know, you get a thing that boosts stamina, and then you might get a thing that boosts grenade damage, and then you've got a runner that benefits from like high stamina, or like, because there's a runner that's whole thing is that you can activate one of her specials and she's able to sprint without losing stamina, and she can do a slide that does damage and things like that. So I can see how that all might synergize, but also I can see how you could work towards a build and then just die, and then just be like, well, I haven't got that build anymore because I've lost the shield and the...
Yeah.
And like the idea is that you will advance to a point where when you die, you can just go into the... And this is the other thing. You'll die, you'll get respawned back at the hub, which isn't really a hub, but it's just a menu. And then you can just go to the store and you can just buy stuff because you've unlocked the ability to buy things. And to me, that's just like... It's like... I don't know, it's like capitalism shooter. Do you know what I mean? It's just like all you're really doing is boosting your social status to the point that you can go to these stores, and so you'll still die, you'll still lose everything, but because you've been upgrading and unlocking these faction levels, you can go to the store and buy a green gun or a purple gun. And then, like, if you've got enough money, which you will have because you've advanced in social standing enough to earn money for jobs, you'll go and so you'll die and you'll just be like, well, I'll just buy a purple box and I'll open this box and it'll give me a free loadout, and that loadout will be what I go into. And to me, it just feels really hollow. That to me just feels really hollow, because it's just like, I'm working towards getting better, but what's actually making me better is that now I've got so much money and I've unlocked this next level in this shop, so now I can just go, like, rather than just have like a safety deposit box that I can put that gun in every time and level that gun, but then if I want to level up this backpack or I want to level up this armor, I've got to like either earn enough money that I can buy 2 insurance slots, or I've got to risk it. I've got to take that gun and level, and like I've got to take risks now. And this doesn't feel like that. This just feels like as long as you keep plugging away at it and progress at this kind of social standing that the game has, eventually you'll get to a point where you can just like respawn, buy all purple stuff, go in, murk the low level players. Do you know what I mean? And like the NPCs become trivialized because you can one shot them with this like purple level sniper that you've got, and if you die, who cares? Because I've got loads of money. I'll just buy another one from the store because they're infinite. I don't know. I don't know all that because I could be completely wrong, but to me it just feels really hollow. Like it doesn't feel like there's any sense of like place to it.
Yeah, I found it, like I said, I found it very difficult to connect with, and I think, basically, I mean, it's the problem with these games anyway, and this is like, I suppose, a wider problem than just Marathon, is that there's a lot of these types of games, and time is limited, and from my own perspective, I only just really, in the last couple of months, learn all the ins and outs of another extraction shooter.
Yeah.
So the thought of jumping onto another one, especially one that's got as obtuse an onboarding experience as Marathon, it's very difficult for me to make.
And that you hate looking at.
And that I hate looking at, yeah. I can't play that.
I don't mind the art style once you're down on the ground. Like, I think the menus are a little bit there's a bit too much like fluorescent colouring going on. I think once you're down on the ground and you're actually in the world, I don't mind the atmosphere of the world. What I struggled with, the way Marathon is set up, is the world is so sterile. It's like there's nothing, because again, I keep coming back, and it's probably unfair, but maybe it's not actually. Arc Raiders has got this, like, everything's fucking dust blown, and like you can't see, and you don't know if there's another player like 100 yards in front of you because a dust cloud has just blown in, and you'll see like the lights of an enemy drone like flashing in, like it's obscured by this, like the wind and the atmosphere, and you feel like you're picking your way through this decaying world. You feel like you're raiding little boxes and little like filing cabinets, and you get this sense of like whatever you get is a prize, and like I know you just. Whereas again, Marathon is like it's very sterile. Like the gunplay is superb, and I will stand by it. The gunplay is Bungie's specialty. It's absolutely, there's such a rhythm to the gunplay, to every gun you fire has got that, and you feel that feedback, and you get that really satisfying like burst of light when you take an enemy's head off and stuff. You got that bunginess is there, but the actual world itself, it kind of is just like a sequence of like science labs, derelict tunnels, living quarters with the same shit on the walls and the same computers on the table, and there's no sense that this world was ever lived in by anyone. There's no sense that anybody did anything here. It looks like everywhere they built it and then left, and that's the feeling I get. And there's no like something on the horizon that you can like orientate yourself around. There's no big landmark in the distance that's like, oh, you know, if I've got that on my right and I'm going this way. You constantly got to open the map and look at it and go, right, I'm facing that way, but I want to go over there. And the game will be like, oh, your mission is there's something to find in the southwest building of station. And you look on the map and there's things that are like power plant, lab, station. And it's just like, right, so I've got to go here, find the southwest building. And it's just like, I don't know, it just feels really cardboard. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel immersive in that respect. It's like, right, so now I'm going to go stay. So then you traipse to this area station and you find the southwest building, and you do the mission, and you get that little burst of whatever. And then you just get bombarded by NPCs, because as soon as you do anything, it spawns reinforcements. And one thing I found that I'm going to stop in a minute, but one thing I found really irritating is when you extract in Marathon, right? You hit the extraction thing, you call an extraction, and this thing starts spinning, and that's going to extract you out. Then you get a countdown. So it takes about 20 seconds, and then it gets to the 10 seconds, and there's a countdown, 10, 9, 8, and you've got to get close to the device. There's a point where for about 3 to 5 seconds, the screen's going fucking wibbly wobbly. You have to be where you are to extract. You can't do anything else. The screen's going fucking ape shit. You can't see anything. You can't defend yourself. Other players can still watch you extracting, and to them, you're just sitting next to the device, which is like got a little bit, and they can just snipe you while you're sitting there, and you can't fucking do anything. You literally are at a point where you can't position yourself away from it behind cover. They're always in the open. You just have to sit and pray that there's not some bastard sitting on a hill whose entire day has been watching this extraction point. No intention of extracting, no intention of getting kit for himself. He's just a troll, and he's just going to sit there with a purple sniper rifle with ridiculous accuracy and wait for some idiot to extract. And in that last 3 seconds where you can't see him, you can't defend yourself, you can't hear because the game's sound effects are going nuts and the particle effects are going nuts, and you're literally at the mercy of anybody. And I'm telling you, trolls are going to discover this real fast. Like it was happening to me during the server slam. Trolls are going to discover this shit real fast, and
that'll ruin it for people.
And it's not about it's not like Ark where you get close to each other in the extraction. And it's like, I just want to extract, don't shoot. Like you've got that tension.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got proximity chat, but it's not. It's a Bungie game. No one's playing this like Ark. No one's going up to anybody and putting their hands up and doing an emote and saying, "Hey, don't shoot." They're not doing that in this because it's not that sort of game. This is people are playing this like they play Crucible and Destiny 2. If they see you, they shoot you. There's no quarter given. There's no like, are we on the same team? Because it hasn't got that atmosphere. It doesn't have that sense of place and camaraderie.
That's a shame, though. The fact there's no camaraderie or that social element. I think
it doesn't have that.
That's half of Ark, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you're an impersonal dude who's been projected into a random frame. You all look the same unless you've got a silly skin on that changes the color of you. And then, like, there's no camaraderie. There's no friendliness. There's no like like that's that thing in Ark where you get that little bit of tension and you don't know, and you told us stuff during the Goatee pods where you had like emergent moments with other players where like you bandaged that guy up because you thought you were helping him, and then he was like you just prolonged my death, like, and then, but then at the end of it he's like, look, I've got some stuff, I'm gonna die, take it, dude. And it's like, because you've got that element of that human element that's missing from Marathon. Nobody fucking does that. If they see you, they just shoot you. I shit you not. I played 6 or 7 hours, and I sat in the games, and I did run after run after run. And like some of them I extracted, some of them I got out, and like I was like got a bit of a sense of achievement, and I was leveling up my factions, and I was achieving quests. But not once did I come across other players, and there was a standoff or a moment where we like saw each other. Not once. If they see you, they just shoot you. And like, so it's almost just like you're playing a Bungie multiplayer shooter that also has like an extraction element. It doesn't contain that sense of random teamwork or random friendship, or even just the tension of not knowing if someone's going to shoot you in the back of the head and just be a troll. Like you don't have that. And I think it misses that. I think that's what's missing for me. That's what's missing from Marathon. It's a fantastically built mechanical shooter, but it doesn't have anything. So far, again, only Server Slam, but it's lacking that humanity that like the best extraction shooters have.
Review coming soon.
Review coming soon.
It will be interesting to see like how you feel after time with the full version of the game, if they took anything from that Server Slam time, or if anything has evolved in a way that makes that work any better. It feels like they've got to stop the snipe you while you can't see or hear part of it.
To me, well, that one, once that 10-second countdown's gone, you should be safe. If you've survived in the extraction zone in the open for 30 seconds and you've got close to it and the 10 seconds are counting down and you've made it that far, that you should be out. That you shouldn't be able to get sniped after that 10-second countdown is done.
Well, it's like Ark, isn't it? Once you're in the elevator and someone's pressed the button, you could still be knocked or down technically, but you're still going to get out because you won't die quicker than the lift leaves, basically.
Yeah. And plus, you can still see what's going on. You've got your wits about you. The way Marathon does it, you can't see or hear anything. You're just at the mercy of this wibbly wobbly swirly effect, hoping there's not just some basement dwelling shit who's had a bad day on the other side of the map is just taking his frustrations out on people. And I think that'll be the first thing that they tweak, because I think that'll just get
surely
that's just going to get abused. But anyway, so we've prattled on about Marathon long enough, because I know Lyle wants to talk about Pokemon's birthday.
It was Pokemon's birthday, everyone.
Which doesn't segue at all from anything. But
no, it doesn't.
Before we close up, we should, because it will segue in, because the bonus this week is Pokemon themed. So the Patreons will.
The segue's there. You're just not there yet.
Yeah, but the patrons will get a lovely Pokemon themed bonus pod. Well, I don't know how lovely it's going to be yet, but
we'll find out.
But yeah, it's Pokemon's birthday, and
it was 30 years old,
30 years.
A week ago. So yeah, Pokemon's been around for fucking ages now. Everyone's old. Just all need to calm down about that, okay? You're all fine. Don't worry. You're not dead yet, and even when you do die, you'd probably be all right. You won't realise.
45 in 6 weeks. I don't know. I feel.
So we got the Pokemon Day direct celebration-y thing, and lots of announcements that came with it. The main one is the next proper new Pokemon game. Generation 10 of Pokemon is coming next year, not this year. People thought that maybe with it being the 30th anniversary of the series that they'd try and have this massive new landmark game be this year, but I think realistically it's just a lot better that there is a game that has had as much time as needed to be a really, really good Pokemon game after they've had a few misses along the way fairly recently, if not like the last game, within recent memory of that. But yeah, the thing about the trailer for it was we got to see the new starter Pokemon. They were exciting. They were adorable. I'm going to pick the little stupid bird, and that seems to be generally disagreed upon, but that's fine.
Isn't that the beauty of Pokemon, though? Isn't that the whole, like, there's so many...
There's many. One that everyone gravitates towards, isn't there? There's always one starter that gets revealed, and everyone just,
and this time it's
for it.
And this time it's a little fire Pomeranian, obviously.
Oh yeah,
that's the one that everyone loves this time around. And my poor bird is the least liked, but that's fine. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll evolve into something great. We'll never know. Well, we will know, but not for like a year, maybe, or something like that. And I think the big thing is you can tell that this Pokemon game is a Switch 2 Pokemon game when you were watching the trailer, because it had like water effects, and I don't know, and it seems stupid to say this game had water effects, but if you look at water in basically any other 3D Pokemon game, it's like, here is a flat layer of blue, like
blue. Yeah.
I love how little effort they put into the visuals of a Pokemon game. Like that company must have so much money. Like it must have such the ability to just up the production values to the nth dimension, and they just do fuck all with it. It's just, you suckers are going to buy Pokemon anyway.
It doesn't matter. But this time they might have put it feels like they put more effort in this time. This looked like a genuinely nice looking game.
Yeah.
Maybe not like this is the most intense visuals you'll ever imagine in your life, but like it looked good, and it looked like Nintendo good. It didn't look necessarily far removed from, like, say, a Donkey Kong Bonanza, one of the games where you're like, oh, this is a game where it has lots of charm and it is visually lovely, and people will like it. So, fingers crossed that's the case. Excited for that, obviously. Like I was always going to be. They also announced, they gave the release date for Pokemon Champions, which is in April. Which is
that the multiplayer one?
The multiplayer, like competitive one. So I'm to get ready for that pretty.
I kind of want to try that because I've never played like competitive Pokemon, and I'm not, be honest, I'm not that fussed about the combat in Pokemon, but I kind of want to give it a go just to see, who I can beat. I want to see if I can take you on and beat you.
Okay, I think you might, and that'll be exciting. We'll do that. We'll have a battle, and then I'll come back really sad about all my like years of preparation for this.
You learning all the meta of the meta game and all that sort of stuff, and then I just come in with like spamming tackle with whatever Pokemon I've got.
Yeah, just do something, or you'll put me to sleep with like a 50% chance of it working, and then you'll win because that wins if you do it. Something like that, some bullshit. Yeah. So that's exciting. That's coming out. People were thinking it might be released sooner than that because I think they're going to use it at the World Championships this year. So they thought that they'd be giving people more time to like onboard and get used to it. But I think there's still a few months, and it still seems like that's. I'm not planning on making it to the championships in a 3-month period after getting the app. So
Is it a free game?
Yeah, it is. It's free with. They've not really discussed anything about how you like make it so that you have whatever you need to have a good team, or how it works. But yeah, it is a free thing, and it's going to be it's launching on Switch, but will be on the mobile phones later this year, I think they've said.
We can suppose that there'll be a certain amount of Pokemons you need to buy, or
there'll be some sort of grinding, if not,
potions, like, maybe.
Yeah, some
because
sort of like
it's not.
Or whatever.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Pokemon is not. It doesn't tend to be like a microtransaction-y franchise where you've got to like buy packs of Pokemon or whatever. It's more like put the owls
in like maybe like in like the trading card game apps or Pokemon Go. I think you could buy boosters and stuff like that, but nothing in like actual main Pokemon games. So yeah, there'll have to be some element of that if it's free, because otherwise why the fuck are they making it? But we'll see how much that affects it, and I guess that's something we'll find out. What else happened on Pokemon Day? They released Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
I reviewed. There's a review of that already.
Is that a remake?
That is the remake that they released in 2004 of the original games, and then they've put it on the Switch and they've done almost nothing to it. It's just there, but they have charged like £17 for it or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have, I guess.
I mean, I like having it. It's good. I've played lots of it already. But yeah, that was nice. They announced all the other announcements were fairly small in comparison. Like it was all little things like showing off a bit more of Pokopia, which is out now as of time of recording.
What is that? What is that? Because I saw you mention that, and I thought, is that related to Pokemon, or is it just one of Lyle's weird indie?
It is related to Pokemon. It's what Dragon Quest Builders.
Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay, well, I might play that version. I like Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah, it's been reviewing very, very well. It's got good reception from people who've been playing it so far. So, like,
what's it called?
Pokopia.
Pokopia.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played about 5 minutes, so not enough to form any opinions other than it's quite a nice looking game.
Does it feature Ryan Reynolds in any capacity?
No, you play as a Ditto that has transformed itself into a human. So like all your movements are ever so slightly like ungainly, and it's like your face is like got that weird derpy like line smile on it.
The smile, yeah,
yeah, it's really charming actually.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, yeah. So yeah, happy birthday, Pokemon. You're the same age as me.
Yeah, is that right?
Well, I'm that and half again, but yeah, it's I feel 30.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
That's my wife is younger than me. I think that. I mean, only by 5 years, but still, that's enough to keep me young. I'm not as young as you two, anyway.
Well, we're not young anymore either. We once were, but yeah, it's too late now.
And on that maudlin note,
yeah,
I think we'll. On that note, that we're all dying soon, we are going to say goodnight because we're going to switch over now. We're going to record the bonus pod for the Patreons, which again is Pokemon themed. I know almost nothing. I know as much about Pokemon as I've seen in Pokemon adjacent media. So do you know what I mean? Like I know
you
what
see Pokemon on someone's coat.
Yes, I've seen like Mewtwo. I've seen a lot of those. I've seen a lot of those pictures where people draw Pokemon as like real life animals, and they're horrifically disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Like all that sort of stuff. Some of them are really cute, and then some of them are just like the stuff of nightmares. And like I remember watching some like Pokemon. Somebody did like an animated thing using like Pokemon, where like I don't know, it was a Pokemon that had like a child. And then that was a big fight, and I can't even remember what the Pokemon were called, but it was like really well animated. It was like a proper CGI like fight between these two Pokemon that was like really interesting. I can't remember what it's called.
There's a guy on TikTok who takes a photo of himself and turns himself into Pokemon. Yeah, but he'll do it by like merging his like body parts into the same shape and proportions as the Pokemon, and some of them are absolutely horrific.
Yeah,
like he did Jinx yesterday, and it was just like,
oh no. Yeah, that's a bad shout. That's bad vibes all around.
Yeah,
imagine how well we're gonna make Pokemon work for bonus content when someone knows that little about Pokemon. You'll have to find out how we do it.
Yes, you do. So sign up, jump into the Patreon. You should anyway. Give us a bit of support if you feel like it. If you like what we do, if we make you laugh, or if we ring any bells with you. Because I think we cover a lot of ground in these pods now. I think we get into the meat of it. I think, and then on the bonus we sort of kick back a little bit. It's a lot less serious, and it's usually a quiz. Or last week we ranked Resident Evil protagonists, which was a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed that.
We've already upset people in the Discord, and so we've had a little bit of feedback, and yeah, it's worth looking at. But either way. That's up to you guys. It's good that if you've made it this far in the video, then we appreciate that as well. And a like or a subscribe or a share somewhere, goes just as long as far for us as putting your hand in your pocket, really. So anything you can do, we appreciate. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna end it there, and we're gonna go and record the bonus pod. So yeah, I've been Mick Fraser. He's been Kieran Singh. He's been Lyle. I said Lyle Carr again. Lyle Pendle. I still do that. It's because it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, sorry.
He's been Lyle Pendle, and you guys have been very patient and lovely. Bye.
Bye. See you later.